in just under a year and a half is when I had to put my dog down. Started my divorce process. My dad had heart surgery, and then my mom passed away, all within that short year and a half span. So that year was really, really tough. And I did see a decline in my productivity and my sales. And it's not something I regret, because it's really made me see that you still have to live your life. You can't just curl up into a ball and forget everything. And the more you try to get out of that cloud of like depression almost, the more you try to get out, the more you start to see the sunlight behind different things in life.
Welcome everyone to another episode of the Headed Home podcast. This is actually episode number 72, which is a big number. I don't know. It feels right.
Tell me all the numbers that go into 72.
Nine.
What?
Wait.
No.
Wait, hold on. 9.
Immediate fail.
He's like 17.
Hold on. 9 doesn't go into 72 at all?
No, hold on.
9 times
9 times 8.
Yeah, 9.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Whoa.
Sorry.
Whoa. So, Monika, what is up? We have a guest today, by the way. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
I just want to say real quick that we did an IQ test, and between the two of us.
Hold on. Who do you think won? Just look at us. And
Just by looking at you.
No one won. We tied.
No one won. You guys tied?
Hold on. Here's context. So a couple years ago, we were hanging out one night. We go to bed, or we were getting ready for bed, and someone was talking a lot of schmack about how he was like smarter than me. And like, first of all, that's absolutely untrue. So we took an IQ test, and I won. And ever since, barely, she squeaked by, and I had like 7 drinks that night, by the way. And it was at the end of the night. You had a drink. It doesn't matter. So anyways, ever since then, he's been like talking shit about how my IQ test results were somehow invalid, and he actually is smarter than me.
Yeah.
So we took 2 over the weekend again, and we both tied. And so we have to.
Yeah.
He's going to make
we have to have a rubber match here soon.
No, he's going to make me keep doing it until he wins is what's going to happen. But like, I won't let that happen is what.
Yeah. Have you ever done an IQ test?
Gosh, years ago I did, but I should probably take a recent one, because I don't even remember what the results were. Probably low. Knowing me.
Well, if you want to get in on the action, all 3 of us, we'll see who's the smartest.
Andrew also, like one night, we were hanging out, the 2 of us, and he made me take a keyboard.
I remember that
test. Like he's a
speed typing test, right? Like, have you ever taken that?
Yeah. So, like in elementary school,
right?
We did that.
Right, and they tell you how many words per minute you type.
Yeah.
That I was the clear winner there. So I don't know. I'm on a roll right now.
This is what happens when
I knew the divisible numbers of 72 and you didn't.
Yeah, little Miss Math teacher over here.
Yeah. Where were you on that one?
We didn't really teach those in algebra and geometry.
I'm so glad we got this on tape.
Never speak of it again.
Anyway, we're going to have another episode about my math skills compared to yours. But Monika, introduce yourself to our audience. Well, before you do that, I will just say we met a few years ago, and we were paired together on a transaction. You were working with some buyers who chose me on their own as their lender. So we met each other through a transaction that way, and you did a great job. Great communication.
Thank you.
And we stayed connected on social media since. I love some of the social media stuff that you've been doing over the past couple of years.
So hilarious.
Check it out to our audience. We'll put a link, or we'll have you tell them where they can find you.
Sure.
But you've got some really creative videos out there.
You.
But tell us a little bit about you and your background, and maybe also just how you got into real estate too, because you're a badass real estate agent as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. So, gosh, who am I? Monika. My name is Monika. Spelled like Monica with a K. Phonetically, Monika. I have to tell everybody because, it's something I have to hammer into people's heads because they always say Monica, which technically isn't wrong either.
Right.
But,
right. Yes.
It is what it is. But, I've been in real estate for about 5 years now, and probably the best decision I've ever made for myself. I really enjoy it. And I really, really like working with first-time home buyers because I've also been a first-time home buyer. And I do remember the experience with the roller coaster of emotions. And I like to be there for them because I can relate. And at closing, the appreciation for what I've done tends to be a little bit more. And I just love the feeling of being able to help people in that way. Not saying that I don't love helping other clients as well, but I would just have to say that those are my favorite transactions. And who knows, maybe that'll change in the future, but I do work for the umbrella of EXP, but I'm with the Apollo group specifically. Also switching over to that brokerage within, it's been a little over a year now, probably closer to a year and a half now. And that was another one of the greatest decisions I've made as well, because the Apollo group it's such a team environment. And that's the type of workplace I like to be in, where everybody is just there to support one another. And the workspace and the community is just so tight knit, and everybody's involved in different community programs, and everybody just wants to help one another. And I really like that environment.
Every time I feel like we've talked to you, you've mentioned that, and I've left every meeting like, damn, she works at an awesome brokerage. Like, she works with a really cool team. And like, that's in this industry, on the loan side and the real estate side, that's hard to find. And I think it takes a special leader who understands culture and is able to build synergy. And I've been a part of it in my career, and I know you have too. And it's an awesome feel. It feels like you're out there, like, making a difference, and like you're excited to come in every day.
Yeah.
That makes your job fun.
Shout out?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Shout
Please
out to Chris Caldwell, my managing broker. He's really changed the game for me and everybody else who joined the Apollo group. When he first started it, we all wanted like a community, and we wanted a managing broker who cared about our success and wanted to be better than him almost. And he's putting us on the right path to be able to do that. And it's wild to experience his type of leadership.
Just real quick on that. And that's awesome. Sounds like he's amazing at what he does, but like, what makes him, like, if you could just break it down into a couple things, like, what makes him a great leader?
He connects with us, not just like on a professional and a business level, which is, even in that aspect, he's superior. But he connects with us on personal levels as well. For example, like when my mom passed away after I joined the Apollo group, his dad had passed away in the past as well. And so we were able to really like have a conversation and connect with that. And having that support from him and the whole team really just showed me how much they cared about me as not just an agent on the team, but as a human.
It feels like something that's just so simple. I mean, like, when you think about like what makes like a great leader, human connect, like your ability to connect with other human beings. But there are so many leaders that cannot or do not know how to do this, and like don't have like the emotional, like, the EQ to like figure out what a person needs, or what, like what they're struggling with, or like how to be empathetic. And I feel like when you find a leader that like gets people and like knows how to connect with them on a personal level, like you're like, this is leadership. It's not the other stuff you can figure out, but like that is like the foundational component of like a great leader.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's hard not to succeed when you have that type of
totally. Yeah. Totally. Sorry, this is like a little off topic, but there's Ernest Shackleton was like an explorer on this ship that was going to Antarctica. And I was reading all these stories about him a couple years ago, and it was talking about how they were in like a dire situation where like everyone on the boat was like, they were going to die. They were stuck in the ice. And he literally would like go around to every single person at night, because he knew that nighttime was when people were like really like scared and struggling and sad. And he would like make a connection with them and like find ways to like humanize and like make things, happy and play games and like all this stuff that you're like, you're stranded in the middle of the ice in the ocean. And like, that's what you're focusing on. And like, that's what got them all to survive was this guy's innate ability to like connect with humans. And I feel like that's really cool that you're part of a team like that. That's awesome.
Now, have you always been under his leadership?
No.
Okay, so that's just recent over the past year or so, you said?
Yeah, close to a year and a half now.
Got it. So you got in 5 years ago. So what was that? Was that in the middle of COVID, like in the pandemic? Because would that be 2020?
Yeah, it was 2020. I'm one of those agents who joined the field of real estate during that time. And I was able to join another really great team in the past as well. And I'm very thankful to have joined that team. But I think I just, ultimately outgrew it with what I wanted to do with my own business and the marketing that I wanted to do and all the available materials that are out there. We just didn't utilize. And so in order to grow my sphere and really just take care of my clients the way that I wanted to, I had to kind of advance where I hung my license. And the way that I got into real estate, so I was managing a wine bar for 6 years prior and was about to get married at the time and realized, you know what, I'm about to get married. I want to have kids at some point. I need to get out of the restaurant and I want to do something a little bit more meaningful and something more of the career path. And one of the gentlemen who worked at the brokerage, he was a founding partner, was really good friends with my ex-husband. And they had been trying to recruit my ex-husband for a couple years. They recruited me instead through, Yeah. Well, and, I just see these guys like living their best lives and they're just so happy and they're buying homes and making money, honestly. And I was like, I want to do that. So I reached out to him and I was like, listen, I want to get my real estate license. I know you guys want my ex-husband, but let's have this conversation about me joining the team. So I think they took a chance on me. And I again, it was an incredible experience. I have nothing terrible to say about any of that. I joined this team because I knew who they were. They were friends of mine. One of them, actually a couple of them, were even in my wedding. But they took me under their wing and they helped me succeed as well. I don't think I would be as successful as I am today without them.
Yeah. So I'm always curious about this because when I got into the mortgage business, and I came from the restaurant industry as well.
Back in 1991.
back in the 80s. No, it was 2010. But it was still like, I don't know, making that shift from one career to the next. I mean, it doesn't have to be like into real estate or mortgages. It's just when you go from like something that and you're comfortable with to something brand new. And that brand new venture is completely performance based. Like you get paid based off what you do and how good you are. And like that is challenging at the beginning for everyone. And it took me a while to feel like, oh, okay, I belong here and I can actually make a career out of this. How long do you think it took you to get to that point? Maybe
4 to 6 months.
Okay, so you found it pretty quick.
I did.
So you had success. Well, in 2020 it was a lot was going on. I mean, it was challenging in a lot of ways, but it was also good in a lot of ways because a lot of people were trying to make moves at that time. So that probably helped a little bit. You probably got some good reps.
Yeah, absolutely. And, like I said earlier, I don't think I would have been as successful without joining that team first because they were my ex-husband's friends. They took me under their wing and they really helped me get the ball rolling on my business. So I was successful quickly thanks to them.
How did you find success quickly? Like, what did you do? Was it like a lead generation type deal, or were you out generating your own leads? Like, what did you do? What actions were you taking to find success that early?
They did have a lead generation system. They used Zillow, which the team that I do now also does Zillow. I think it's a great lead generation system just for, quick, putting you in front of people.
Yes.
So absolutely. Sorry, I forgot the rest of the question.
No, so lead generation. So that probably gave you a lot of reps, like right off the bat, right?
Yeah.
Like you're getting leads given to you, but you still have to execute and convert them. Did you take traits from, like the industry that you were in before? Like, did you take some traits from that to be able to like transfer those over into, converting those leads?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, when you're in the restaurant business, you have to know how to talk to people. You have to know how to appeal to people, and you have to know how to sell. So it was not a hard transition for me outside of just the product.
Yeah.
Right.
I also feel like, we talk about this all the time, but like there's so many life lessons that you learn from like working in a restaurant for years. But I also think like navigating different types of personalities and like frustration levels from, customers, or like there's all these things that are going on. Like it's the same in real estate when you have, multiple clients or whatever, like you're having to navigate and manage all of these like different humans that need different things from you and like need them to be talked to in certain ways. Like there are a lot of parallels to that for sure. What did you feel like, what was like maybe like a struggle, or one of your biggest barriers that you've really either felt as you came into the industry or like feel right now in your business?
The biggest barrier when I first got into the industry was putting in so many hours and not seeing the outcome right away.
Yeah.
So I absolutely learned being patient in this industry, because it will come eventually. You just have to keep at it. So that was the biggest hurdle, I think, for me at the beginning. Now, I would have to say that I am my own biggest hurdle. Right? Because the way that you view your business and the way your mental capacity and when you're struggling in your personal life, it does have an effect on your business. And so that's something over the past year that I've really had to navigate and figure out how to work with.
I know that and we've talked about this, and I know you've had a lot of stuff that you've navigated over the last couple of years, really. And some of those things that, and feel free to talk about what of those things you want. But I know your dad had surgery, your mom passed away, you got divorced, and all of those, I've had to navigate those pieces. But I think what I really appreciate about you is that you have all of these things going on in your personal life. And like you mentioned, it's really hard to like continue on in the world of your career and keep things moving along when really like your world is crashing around. And so talk about like, have there been lessons that I know you've taken a lot of lessons from some really difficult moments in your life over the last couple of years, but talk about like maybe something you've learned from that, and can that be transferable into your career or other places in your life? Yeah,
absolutely. I think in just under a year and a half is when I had to put my dog down. Started my divorce process. My dad had heart surgery, and then my mom passed away, all within that short year and a half span. So that year was really, really tough. And I did see a decline in, my productivity and my sales. And
how could you not, by the way? Like,
yeah. But it's not something I regret, because it's really made me see that you still have to live your life. You can't just curl up into a ball and forget everything.
Yeah.
And the more you try to get out of that cloud of like depression almost, the more you try to get out, the more you start to see the sunlight behind different things in life. And I guess I never really appreciated my friendships then as I do now.
Yeah.
And how supportive my girlfriends were throughout that whole process. And I think that really amplified my closeness with them and my friendships with them. Also, losing my mom has really amplified my relationship with my family. Because I was unfortunately did not grow up in like a very tight-knit family, but since losing my mom and like seeing how everybody came together after she passed away. And I think we all realized how important family is now that we don't have part of it anymore. And, you know, even though losing my mom was probably the worst thing I've ever experienced, I don't necessarily want to say I'm glad it happened, right? Because I'm not. But it's because it's made me so much closer, especially to my brother and his children. I'm thankful for that experience. And, you know, it's making me want to continue bonding with them and build a stronger relationship with them. And it's also, honestly, it's also even made me realize that, like, I want a family one day and I want this closeness, because now that I have it with my brother and his children, I want that for myself too.
Well, and I don't think everyone does this, but I think you did, which is wonderful. Like when you have a situation that's really difficult, and I think death in particular, like, does this for people or can do this for people. When you see someone that you love die, it very clearly tells you, like, you have one life. Like, it's not, and it happens so quickly in your head where you're just like, oh shit, this human that I've known my whole life is gone. Like, you just, I think in your head, you very clearly understand the importance of living. And it sounds like that's something that you really kind of recognized and took on over this last year.
Yeah, of course. Of course. And also, like, the timing of when she passed away has also made me realize that you have to live and you still have to live your best life. And yeah, shitty things happen in life, but life goes on. Yeah. You know, and the way that it goes on might be a little bit different and you view things differently, but I mean, that's kind of how you build character, and that's how you are created into the human that you are.
Yeah.
What sort of, because I always break it down, like I'm very analytical and look at the details though, like the day to day though, right?
Yeah.
Like you're going through that. I mean, that's a lot. Like you said, you had to put your dog down. You went through a divorce. Your mom passed away. I mean, those are like huge life events all in a very short period of time.
You changed real estate groups.
You changed groups.
Yeah. Oh my God. And I changed brokerages all within that time too. I totally forgot about that.
So like from a day-to-day standpoint, like, did you focus on like, okay, diet, exercise, prioritizing sleep? Like, did you intentionally do that? Or was it just like, or did you have habits in place leading up to those things that happened? Because that could really spiral somebody if they're not ready, you know?
Yeah.
Or if they don't have that mindset of like being able to get themselves out.
Yeah. Well, and to be perfectly honest, I did spiral for several months there. Okay. I did spiral. But I think that's, you know, where the friendships and the family come into place to kind of get you back on track.
Gotcha.
Like anchors.
Yes, exactly. And I did not, during that spiraling time of my life, I did not have a good diet. I didn't have good habits. I didn't have good sleep. You know, I was just sad and didn't have any energy. I didn't go to the gym. I tried, but I just couldn't do it. I didn't feel like doing it, really anything. But yeah, I think having a conversation with my dad is such a straightforward guy. And he really just kind of knocks some sense into me, which I think is the thing that I needed to finally get that first step out of that weird sadness or whatever that I was in. But, you know, he's, like I said, very straightforward. He's from New York. So there's, like, I swear to God, I've only seen this guy smile maybe 5 times my whole life. You know, but he just told me to stop being an idiot, basically. Move on with your life. You need to get better. You need to, you know, you need to start prioritizing your life over losing your mom.
Yeah.
And so I did. And I'm still doing it.
Well, you'll probably keep doing that for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And it will change and transform, and, you know, that's pretty cool that was, I mean, that's great that you have a dad that can be like, listen up. Like, this is what you have to do.
He's had to do that for me so many times. That's
so funny. And as you were talking, I think one other thing that I just think is an important anchor for you, just because I know this about you, is you have a history of being in like the fitness industry. And like, I mean, like that has been an anchor for you in your life. And so I wonder too, if that, even though you weren't doing that in that moment of grief, I wonder if some of those like skills were still like there and kind of like looming in the background of like, okay, when I'm ready to get out of this, like I have this anchor to like really come back on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do also think that maybe because I wasn't working out the way that I used to, it also had a pretty deep effect on how I was acting too, because I got out of the habit of doing that. And this is such a healthy habit to have. And, you know, with that, you kind of start to spiral as well with like eating and sleeping too much or not enough or something along those lines. But I have not competed for, probably close to 6 years now. So I wouldn't necessarily say that I am like the bikini competitor anymore, but that was a really big part of my life for a long time. My ex-husband was a bodybuilder.
Okay.
And we started going to a bodybuilding gym. I had always wanted to go there, but I was so afraid.
Yeah.
I was afraid to go to this gym because of like the reputation it had with being a professional bodybuilding gym. And I was like, I'm going to look like such an amateur there. And I'm not muscular. I wasn't at the time. And, you know, he helped me be comfortable with going there. And then once you start working out in an environment like that, you start to see how dedicated these people are to their fitness and this lifestyle of bodybuilding. And it's really admirable, the dedication that these people have. And it kind of rubs off on you a little bit, right? And I remember being so scared to tell my ex-husband that I wanted to try competing for the first time because I'm a thin girl and you know, I naturally would have to start in bikini, and he would always make fun of bikini girls. And I was like, but I'm not muscular enough to do anything else. But I wanted to at least try the whole prep and get on stage and see if I could do it. The first time I did it, my God, it was like the worst experience of my life. I hated every second of it. I hated the diet. I hated having to work out when I was tired. I hated having to do so much cardio because I've never been a fan of cardio. But the moment I stepped on stage, my view on that changed. And it was all that suffering that I had done for the prior, 12 to 16 weeks was worth it the moment you step on stage and winning first place.
You won your first one?
I did.
Dang.
So
not the overall, but I did win first place in my category.
Yeah, still.
Yeah.
That's great.
And I think that's where the addiction came.
Yeah, right.
With wanting to continue. Because, you know, everybody always asks me, are you going to do it again? Are you going to do it again? And up until that point, I was like, never again.
Yeah.
I did it 4 times total, and I got first place in every single category. But after the last time that I competed, I realized that I'm not going anywhere with this, right? This is just a hobby of mine. COVID also happened, so I wasn't really able to work out the way that you used to because all the gyms were closed. It would just remain a hobby.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. That's so interesting.
That has to take such an insane amount of discipline though.
Yeah.
To put your body through that, to go and compete and then win.
Yeah.
Like what does a normal day of food look like when you're in that prep zone?
Yeah. So I was eating about 6 to 7 meals a day. Pretty much no seasoning. The only condiments I was allowed to have was like hot sauce or mustard for anything. A lot of boiled chicken and eggs. But, you know, these meals were so small. And so when you first start eating like this, the first few weeks, you're just hungry all the time. The last few weeks, you are so full from this tiny meal from before, and your body's also just kind of rejecting it almost because it doesn't taste that good.
Right.
Right. You're fueling your body for the nutritional value, not the flavor or the taste. And you know, your body just stops getting as hungry for this type of food.
Interesting.
And I remember so many times it became like an everyday thing, almost an every meal thing, where I'm eating my next meal because you have to eat every 2 to 3 hours, but I'm still full from the meal before. I'm like literally throwing up my last meal as I'm trying to shovel down my next, you know, chicken breast. And that was one of the hardest parts about prep is the mental aspect of getting over that because your body needs the nutrition.
And you're forcing it because you need it. You need it to build the muscle, but you don't want it. It doesn't taste good. But like on at that time is when you are supposed to eat and you have to do it.
Yeah.
Whew, that is interesting. I mean, I feel like I'm like super interested in this, but I feel like it would throw your whole life off after that though. Like then do you feel super guilty when you have like a meal that tastes good, or are you just like, oh, I'm happy to have this, you know? Like I feel like it'd be a hard like thing to let go of if you go 12 to 16 weeks of being
like
that
a
disciplined.
legit habit. Like at 12 to 16 weeks, it's like ingrained in like your habit.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. However, just depending on your body type and the coach that you have, you know, sometimes you're allotted a cheat meal a week to where you can have a cheeseburger or something like that. So that kind of keeps you a little bit balanced. I was able to have a little bit more than that because I do have a very fast metabolism. Thanks to my mother. I have her metabolism and her figure. So it's actually really hard for me to gain weight. If I'm not eating, I'm losing weight.
Gotcha.
So I had to have cheat meals, thank goodness. And same thing, after you step on stage, you're supposed to do like a reverse diet. I did not reverse diet my first competition. That was a wild experience because you gain all your weight back. So you know, just depending on where you start and where you finish weight wise, I gained 20 pounds in like a week.
That is
serious.
Crazy.
My skin hurt so bad to touch. I had never experienced anything like that before.
Weird.
It was
like expanding?
Just stretched so quickly and it hurt.
That's so
Damn.
I know.
That is a crazy
and nobody
thing.
talks about that part.
Yeah.
I've never even heard that.
I also, oh my gosh, I don't know if I should say this. You cut it out if I'm not allowed to say it, or if it sounds kind of weird. But nobody also tells you how constipated you'll get once you start eating regular food.
That makes
again.
sense.
That was
after you start eating regular food?
Yeah. Yeah. Because you change your diet so quickly. That's why you're supposed to reverse diets to slowly.
And you're like, I'm back.
Guy was like, we went to a wedding in Boston. We were eating Dunkin' Donuts and steaks and cheeseburgers the whole time. I did 0 reverse dieting and fucked me up pretty good.
God.
Yeah.
Damn.
I was in the bathroom crying.
Oh man.
God. Oh my God. So terrible. I could totally see why that would happen though.
Yeah.
What lessons did you take from that experience, like into real estate? Like what's just being able to be in a situation where you just have delayed gratification, right? Like you're having weeks upon weeks of having to just do the same rote thing every freaking day. And it sucks. It's not fun. You are not competing for months. How did that discipline transfer into your life or your career? I mean, we kind of touched on that earlier, but like, I imagine that you're at this point getting pretty good at like sitting in the muck of like doing hard things and not seeing results for a while and being okay with it.
You know, everybody's so used to, especially with like social media now, instant gratification.
Yeah.
You don't get that in bodybuilding or real estate.
Yeah.
You know, and when you were kind of pointing out the whole bodybuilding path like this, asking me how it compared to real estate, I mean, it's really not too different. Like you have to work for months before you get rewarded. You know, and same thing, like sometimes you have to work with clients for months before you find them the perfect home, the home that's meeting all the criteria that they're looking for before you start placing offers for these clients. And so you just can't give up before you get there.
Yeah.
And it will be worth it once you do.
So true.
That's probably something that makes you really good at what you do, is that you have that mindset, you have that muscle, you know, that you can delay that gratification.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Well, like Andrew said to me this morning, because I was complaining about my 42-year-old injuries in my back. And I was talking to him about like stretching or whatever. And he's like, babe, you have to stop thinking of it like day to day, week to week. He's like, you need to be looking at it 6 to 8 months. Like this is going to take you. And I think we do that all the time in our society where we are so used to moving at such a fast pace, or like, I need to get this done right away. And I think sometimes just like remembering and reframing for yourself that like, you're going to do the same thing every single freaking day for a long time. And likely you're doing it for some sort of goal you're wanting to attain. And like, you're not going to see any results from that for a long time. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. Yeah. But I think a lot of people, whether it's fitness or business, or there's people that just give up too soon because you don't see that. And it's hard. It's hard to not see those results.
What's next for you? What's on the horizon?
You know, I've got a lot of ideas of what's next for me. Obviously, just continuing to, what did the kids say? Slay
queen
in real estate, hopefully.
That's what they're saying these days.
I'm aging myself. Eat?
You gotta eat.
No, 8.
Oh, 8. Oh, my bad. I ate. Well, 8 would be past tense, right?
Keep eating, girl.
Oh man, we really ate.
I mean, that is my motto. Keep eating. Dude, ask anybody at my brokerage. If there's food in front of me, I'm going to eat it.
That's amazing.
My boyfriend also, he's like, Monika, if I ate the way you did, I would be 1,000 pounds in less than a week. And I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
It's that metabolism.
Thank you, Mom, for my blessed metabolism, because I should probably not be as thin as I am with the way that I eat. Even though for the most part, I am pretty health conscious.
You are, but yes.
But God damn it, if I want a cheeseburger, I'm going to go get a cheeseburger. I don't care. I don't count calories, none of that.
Love it.
Do you have big goals in the future for what you want to accomplish?
You know, I do have several goals in the future that I want to accomplish, but I think one of the biggest ones, and actually the biggest one that I've realized that I should get back into doing, because it was such a passion of mine when I was younger, and in high school, I used to do speech and debate competitions, and I was really good at it. And my dad always was convinced I was going to get into politics because of the way that I can deliver speeches and deliver myself, and I'm good at articulating my point. But after my mom passed away, I realized that, oh my gosh, I let go. Or, you know, I just kind of set it off to the side, that aspect or that need or want of mine. I have always been interested in politics, but, you know, with my mom passing, realizing I need to do more. I need to do more with my life. I want my mom to be proud of me. I also want my dad to be proud of me. And so I am looking into taking the next step into getting involved in my local community and local government. It is something that is very important to me. And I think it's important to a lot of people. I mean, look at the shit show of social media and everything that's going on in politics every single day. It's become almost a reality TV show. It's not easy to not be involved in it one way or another.
Right.
Which is interesting, but kind of beautiful at the same time. And I do think that my generation, I keep hearing from more and more people, and even more politicians who are similar to my age, is that we need to get rid of the two-party system, and just not even necessarily get rid of the two-party system, but we need to really listen to what people are conveying in the policies that they want to implement, instead of just siding with one side or another because that's who they're representing. You know, I think all parties involved have really good policies that should be implemented, but one might never even be looked at because it's the opposing party. And I don't think that's right. And I do, you know, like I said, I do hear a lot of people talking about, you know, we need to get rid of the two-party system, blah, blah, blah. But instead of getting rid of, you know, the party systems, or maybe that is what eventually needs to be done, I do want to get involved with trying to get people to see the bigger picture, instead of this is how I like to vote because, you know, either my parents grew up this way, my friends are like this, that type of thing, instead of listening to what these people are actually saying and seeing, you know, trying to see in the future of what these different policies mean for your local economy and what it can actually do for you. I think that's a big problem with politics today. And I really want to get involved and start at least trying to get people to see politics in a different light.
I think this is
totally necessary.
Yeah, I love that you said that. I think it's a huge issue, and I think you would be incredible at it.
Thank you.
And I'm so excited for the new adventure.
I'm excited too.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch that process.
Yeah.
Totally necessary. People need to be educated.
We'll make your signs.
I mean, it is a very new adventure for me, so I don't quite know exactly which path I'm going to take to get there. But it is something I'm looking into, and it is something I'm talking to a lot of people about who are in local politics, and they're giving me advice on how to just get my foot in the door. And so I'm just really trying to figure out which community I need to get involved with first that I'm passionate about and that I might have some type of experience in or feel like I can do something good.
I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Where can people find you so they can connect with you down the road?
Probably the best way to connect with me is just through Instagram. Like you were stating before, I'm constantly posting videos.
Hilarious.
Mainly real estate videos.
They're pretty good.
They're funny.
They're hilarious.
They're unique.
I love them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she has a really badass video of her doing a standing backflip, which I saw that and I was like,
serious?
Oh
I don't think I've seen that one.
Dude,
I gotta see it. You gotta show this.
That's like a legit thing.
Wait, a standing backflip? Oh, it's not.
It's my stunt double.
Oh my God, you've got a stunt double?
You have. Please go back and watch that video very closely.
Now I'm gonna watch
very closely.
Okay, I'm watching.
It's a man with a completely different color of skin than I have.
Shut up.
Look at that video very closely.
Okay, I'm gonna watch. That's so
it is
funny.
So funny, and it's so funny because he and I, after the video was posted, after they created the video, he and I both were laughing about how they edited the video too good to where you can't even tell. We did the video as like a comedy, because it's so obvious that it's not me. But they did it too well.
Yeah, no, they did, because I did not notice that at all.
Most people don't.
That is so funny. Well, now I got to go back.
You got to go back.
I take everything back.
I can't wait to watch this now to see how not like Monika this looks.
The wig kept falling off, so he had to hold the wig on like this while he did his backflip. And then so in the video where I popped back up, I had to put my hand on my head to make it look like it was me, because the wig kept flying off.
Keep those video editors, man.
Yeah, they're good.
Okay, back to your
Super
Instagram.
creative.
Where can people find you?
Yeah, your Instagram, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, my Instagram, it's monika.baron.realtor.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for being here. Thank you all for listening. Check us out on where should they check us out? On our
MySpace?
Instagram.
Just kidding.
Yeah, on Jen's MySpace. I'm one of her top 5 friends.
Into that? Is that kidding anymore?
No,
you can't.
All right. See you next time at episode 73. Peace.